The energy in the tech world has reached a boiling point. And if you've been paying attention to the supply chain whispers coming out of Cupertino, you know that this isn't just another incremental update cycle. We are standing on the precipice of a massive shift in the Apple ecosystem, one that bridges the gap between the devices we use today and the futuristic, AI-driven hardware we've only seen in sci-fi. For months, rumors have been swirling about a secret April event, a spring-loaded sequel that aims to redefine what we expect from budget devices and pro powerhouses alike. We aren't just talking about a faster processor or a new color variant. We're talking about the long-awaited debut of the iPhone SE 4, a device that is set to cannibalize Apple's own flagship sales by offering pro-level features at a fraction of the cost. We are looking at a radical redesign of the iPad Air, potentially incorporating OLED technology that was previously reserved for the ultra-expensive Pro models. And perhaps most importantly, the whispers suggest we are about to see the first tangible fruits of Apple's multi-billion-dollar investment in specialized AI silicon. The stakes have never been higher for Tim Cook and his team. With competitors moving at light speed in the generative AI space, Apple has been criticized for being late to the party. But as history shows, Apple doesn't want to be first. They want to be the best. Welcome back to my channel Tech Rivet for exclusive insights into the future of tech. Subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon for more tech updates. Now, let's dive into the meat of why the April 2026 event is being called the Great Correction. For the last 2 years, the iPhone SE has sat in a design language that felt like a relic of the past, sporting the home button and thick bezels of the iPhone 8 era. But that ends now. The iPhone SE 4 is the star of the show, finally adopting the modern, all-screen design of the iPhone 14 and 15 series. This is a 6.1-inch OLED powerhouse that effectively kills the LCD era for Apple's smartphone lineup. But it's not just the screen. Under the hood, Apple is reportedly sticking the A18 chip inside this budget beast. Why? Because of Apple Intelligence. To run the local LLMs and the revamped Siri 2.0 that everyone is clamoring for, you need serious NPU performance. By putting their latest silicon in a $499 or $529 phone, Apple is ensuring that their entire active user base, not just the wealthy enthusiasts, is brought into the AI fold. This is a strategic masterstroke. They aren't selling you a cheap phone. They're selling you a portal into their new AI services ecosystem. And they know that once you experience the seamlessness of Siri 2.0, handling your emails, scheduling, and photo editing on a budget device, you'll never look back. But the iPhone SE 4 is just the beginning of the hardware blitz. Let's talk about the iPad. The iPad lineup has become notoriously confusing over the last few years, but the April 2026 event aims to streamline the experience. The new iPad Air is expected to make the jump to the M4 chip, which might sound like a minor bump until you realize the thermal efficiencies Apple has achieved with the 3-nanometer enhanced process. This new Air isn't just a mid-range tablet. It's a productivity machine that challenges the MacBook Air in raw performance. We are also seeing leaks of a new 12.9-inch iPad Air that uses a tandem OLED display similar to the M4 iPad Pro, bringing that incredible extreme dynamic range to a price point that students and creative professionals can actually afford. Imagine having the best display technology in the world without having to drop $2,000. That is the promise of this April event. And for the enthusiasts, the Mac Studio is finally getting its M5 Max and M5 Ultra refresh. If you thought the M2 Ultra was fast, the early benchmarks for the M5 Ultra suggest a 40% jump in multi-threaded performance, specifically optimized for training small-scale AI models locally. Apple is turning the Mac Studio into the ultimate AI workstation for developers who don't want to rely on the cloud. The real one more thing that everyone is holding their breath for, however, is the update on Apple's spatial computing journey. While the Vision Pro has been a niche, high-end product, April 2026 is rumored to give us our first look at Vision Air, or a more affordable Vision headset. We've seen patents for a tethered VR sound that uses your iPhone or Mac for processing power, allowing the headset itself to be lighter cheaper, and more comfortable. If Apple announces a $1,500 version of the Vision Pro that maintains the high-fidelity pass-through but loses the external eyesight display, the market will shift overnight. This event is about accessibility. It's about taking the high-end innovations of the last 3 years and distilling them into products that the average consumer in the US and Europe will actually buy. We are also hearing about an updated Apple Pencil with haptic feedback that mimics the feel of paper and a new Magic Keyboard that makes the iPad feel truly like a modular laptop. These accessories might seem small, but they are the glue that holds the ecosystem together. As we move deeper into the technical specifications, we have to address the elephant in the room, Siri 2.0. The software integration being teased for this event is unlike anything we've seen at a spring event before. Usually, big software news is saved for June's WWDC, but because the iPhone SE 4 and a new M4/M5 Max rely so heavily on these features, Apple is expected to give us a feature preview. This version of Siri is rumored to have on-screen awareness, meaning it can see what you're doing in an app and take actions for you. If you're looking at a flight confirmation in your email, you can simply say, "Siri, add this to my calendar and book an Uber for 2 hours before departure," and it will execute the multi-step process without you touching the screen. This is the generative UI revolution. Apple isn't just adding a chatbot. They are re-engineering the way we interact with Glass. This is why the hardware upgrades are so specific this year. You need the extra RAM, rumored to be a base of 12 gigabytes across all new devices, to keep these models resident in memory. The ripple effects of this event will be felt for years. By upgrading the SE and the Air, Apple is effectively raising the floor of what a smartphone or tablet should be. They are making the competition look ancient. If you're a Samsung or Google user, the pressure is on, because Apple is about to offer a unified AI-powered experience that works across a $500 phone and a $5,000 workstation. The synergy between the new M5 chips and the upcoming iOS 20, or whatever they decide to name this monumental shift, is the culmination of a decade of silicon development. People often ask, is it worth waiting for the April event? The answer is a resounding yes. If you buy a device today, you are buying into the pre-AI era. By waiting just a few weeks, you are future-proofing your tech for the next 5 to 7 years. The iPhone SE 4 alone, with its USB-C port, action button, and A18 chip, is going to be the value king of the decade. It's the phone that will finally convince the millions of people still holding on to their iPhone 11s and 12s to finally upgrade. In the Mac department, the transition to the M5 series signifies more than just a speed boost. It marks the total dominance of Apple Silicon over the traditional x86 architecture. The M5 Max is expected to feature a redesigned GPU architecture with hardware-accelerated ray tracing that rivals dedicated gaming consoles. Apple is finally making a serious push into gaming, and the April event is expected to showcase several AAA titles running natively on the new Mac Studio and iPad Pro. They want to prove that you don't need a bulky PC to be a pro gamer or a high-end video editor. The efficiency per watt remains the gold standard, and with the new 2-nanometer process on the horizon for late 2026, the M5 is the perfect bridge chip that offers peak performance without the thermal throttling issues seen in some of the competition's latest offerings. Let's not forget the smaller updates that make a big difference. The AirPods Pro are rumored to receive a hearing aid mode update that has finally received full regulatory approval, turning the world's most popular earbuds into a legitimate medical device for those with mild to moderate hearing loss. This is the kind of human-centric tech that Apple excels at. They aren't just selling gadgets. They're selling tools that improve quality of life. We are also expecting a refresh of the Apple TV 4K, featuring a faster processor for better gaming and a dedicated AI hub chip that allows it to control your Matter-enabled smart home devices with even lower latency. Your home is becoming smarter, and Apple wants the Apple TV to be the brain of that operation.